And we're back for round 3.
That was quick.
Yeah, welcome everyone. Since the last feature match took so long, we are immediately back for another round of Legacy. More action coming away. In the feature match area this time, we have Sandro Rajalin against Viktor Lindgren. Viktor is playing the Death and Taxes deck, while Sandro is playing Goblins, which is a deck we haven't seen in a while. But apparently he's doing great with it.
Well, both of them was able to take the first 2 matches.
Exactly, so maybe we'll see a comeback of the Goblins here, but he has to fight through quite a rough matchup, if I'm not mistaken.
I would grade it as such, like Death and Taxes is playing basics, so Wasteland is not the death effect, but it's still having a lot of non-basics, as well, you're having swords, and most Goblin decks don't play a lot of lightning bolts or removal spells. Though Sandro is playing 3 Tar Fires.
Yeah, which is an interesting choice.
Yeah,
and also not only 3 Tar Fires, also playing 1 Pyrokinesis main.
That's quite good for the matchup, because Mother of Runes, both players are playing Ether Vials, but Mother of Runes is a very good card against monocolor decks.
Yes.
Especially if they want to attack with creatures and play spells.
Yeah, Mother of Runes can be a total brick wall.
And otherwise, we're having Talias, which is, as a single creature, facing up pretty well against most of Goblins. It's a 2-1 first striker.
Yeah, exactly. Like, usually you don't play Talia for her body, but, sometimes a 2-1 first striker is all you need. Like, Piledriver, War Chief, and Matron, like, all these cards, like, they don't get through her.
From the Goblin side, we have the feared turn 1 Goblin Lackey.
Yeah.
But, like, Mother Runes can still block.
Exactly. Like, you're... Like,
so,
look what we see here. Let's see. Sandro could have a Gunpalm Incinerator here.
That would be huge.
Yeah, that would be insane.
Or you can also have Goblin Weirding.
That is also a card, and he gets to connect, and this could get out of hand. This is the reason why Goblin was such a powerful deck for such a long time, because the turn 1 connect with Goblin Lackey.
Well, turn 2 connect.
Turn 2 connect with Goblin Lackey is
still a
really absurd play. And we see him getting 2 Goblins out of the Ringleader, War Chief and a War Marshal.
Not that impressive, but it's still... And, Viktor is only having the land, and his...
Yeah,
this is not looking good for Viktor.
It seems like he
bricked on lands.
Yeah, he kept his one land hand because he had Mother of Runes, which makes sense because Mother of Runes is, as you said, very, very good in the matchup. But you can see him just getting brutally punished by Sandro's draw.
One thing, Goblins are quite fast at killing you unopposed.
Also, like if you stumble for 1 turn, it's just out of hand. Like, even if he hits land drop from now on,
it will be hard.
It will be really hard.
Well, he's got the Talia in play, so he can block a lot of the Goblins.
Yeah.
But it's still taking, like, Sandro is at the moment having a 2nd Ringleader in hand. He's going to play it 1 cheaper because of the War Chief. There's so much Goblins in common that he can afford to throw away, like, even the War Chief to deal like 6 or 7 damage and then kill Viktor next turn.
Yes.
I don't think he will attack with the War Chief, but then he's at least... Oh, that depends on... So, an Incinerator and Tar Fire. An Incinerator, you just cycle the card, even though it's spell-like.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay the extra mana for Talia.
You're actually not casting a spell. We see him he can't cast the Tar Fire even if he would have a land here, because Talia's effect. But then again, he can just take it easy. He has such a lead on the board, and Death and Taxes doesn't really have a great way of getting back from that. So
he attacks with everything except the War Chief and throws away a Lackey for dealing 5 damage. And I think it's a perfectly reasonable answer here when Viktor is so far behind on the board.
Absolutely.
And Sandro has gotten so much card from his 2 Ringleaders.
It drops down to 9. There is either while a bit late. It will not get any use this game. Viktor plays a Stoneforge Mystic, will probably get
A Jit.
Yeah,
or a Battle Skull.
Actually, I think Battle Skull is the call here because that is the card that can get him back into this game. But then again, I don't think that matters all that much. Especially not since we know there is a Matron in Sandro's hand, if I'm not mistaken, and that could just go get Tactic Scrapper.
Oh. Boom, boom. And then he's playing some more Goblins. He's incinerating the
Talia.
and then tar firing. Or
Cabal Therapy, even.
So he wants to show the main deck Cabal Therapy to get to like see the hand. Well, Sandro is an experienced Legacy player. I don't think it's any news for him that Death and Taxes looks kind of like this.
No, but it could be a good move to like see if there's anything special.
Yeah.
Do you think that he will board out the Cabal Therapies, and that may be a reason why he showed it?
I think he will still keep them since when your opponent is playing Stoneforge Mystic.
Oh, right.
Most of the time, you know that you will hit. It's like a perfect anti-Stoneforge Mystic card.
Exactly.
As well as if he's... The stars you fear the most is like turn 1 Ether Vial. So if you can Cabal Therapy for Ether Vial turn 1, it's kinda decent, but I think he will keep them in for the Stoneforge Mystic interaction. So let's look over the sideboards.
Yes, what do we have on the Death and Taxes side?
Well, we have 2 Cataclysms, which is kinda okay-ish.
Yeah.
Like it will at least bring a lot of goblins from the board.
Exactly. If they get into such a position, again, like it could suddenly bring the board back.
There's a Ratchet Bomb as well.
Oh, that is also good.
And I think you will bring in that Ratchet Bomb.
I'd say so.
There's Containment Priests, which is actually quite good in the matchup.
Yeah.
Or, well, not good.
But it does something.
Yeah. I think it also has Flash.
Yeah, it does.
So you can flash it in and like, aha!
Exactly.
Block. Though the sideboard is pretty unexciting. I think Viktor's main deck is good enough to have most of the things you need for the matchup.
Yeah.
So what's Sandro got?
Sandro has a lot of cards that are like super hateful for combo. Then he also has Engineered Plague that he could name Human with. It's very good in the matchup. He got a second Tactic Scrapper for the equipment. And then he has a second Pyrokinesis and a Death Mark. And also one more Cabal Therapy. But
I don't think you want additional ones, but you might keep 1 or 2.
I'm with the same thought there. But yeah, so Death Mark, Pyrokinesis, Engineered Plague. And,
definitely coming in.
And I'd say that probably Tactic Scrapper as well.
You can make a case. I think he's got one main deck. I think you need another one.
Yeah, it
depends on how many things you want to take out. Like Earwig Squad is probably going.
Yeah, absolutely. We can also assume that Pile Driver is not that good in the matchup. So that is going out.
Vogmore Marshall is also like kind of unexciting.
Exactly. It's not that bad.
It's not like actively bad.
You're not exciting about it either. So I think you actually got room for bringing the second Tactic Scrapper, but then again, it's not the most necessary card. Engineered Plague, I think, is the one if he wants to draw the most, though, because that on humans.
No Mother of Runes, no Talia.
Yeah, and like most things just die to that. And also just like even if a human or two would survive, like this is a very combat oriented matchup. So being able to like having everything be very small is a very good thing. Our players are drawing their starting hands, and they have started the game. So if we can get back to the game, that would be great. Here we go.
Viktor is on the play for now.
Yeah, as long as we get game. But here we go. We see a Stoneforge Mystic being met by a Tarfire, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, and we assume he's getting... It depends if he's got... Yeah, he's got the Better Skull first. Then I assume he Tarfighted it afterwards, since...
Yeah, exactly. If he knew the Tarfire was coming, I would not search Better Skull ever.
Nope. Then it's... And we see that Sandro has got two ringleaders, a Tarfire, a Pyrokinese, and a Goblin Incinerator, as well as a third land. A bit slow, but more control-ish.
Exactly. You can just very easily grind the Death and Taxes player out here.
Especially with multiple ringleaders.
Exactly. Although we see him having non-basic lands in play, and we see the Wasteland here on the Death and Taxes side, so if the Death and Taxes player has a lot of mana to work with, he could actually just Wasteland one of these bad lands, since you didn't see a turn 1 or 2 play. But it seems like he declines to do that, and instead is, I think, is holding a Mangara of Corondor there. Yeah, that is hitting play.
I think he's getting Tarfired as well.
Exactly. He just has all Tarfires.
And Sandro draws a Chromox, and I think he will use it with the Pyrokinesis here. Since there's not a lot of creatures in Viktor's side of the board, and playing Ringleader turn early is way better.
That Chromox was a huge draw.
Yep. He's hitting a Warchief and an Earwig Squad.
He kept in the Earwig Squad. I am very surprised. I am very surprised by that.
Yeah, like, it's a 5/3, so it's a decent body, but still, it needs for him to connect with the creature to be really good.
Yeah. I don't really
think that's... Depends on if he's sideboarded out all the War Marshals. He might just didn't have enough cuts to make.
Yeah, there weren't a lot of cards. He probably cut a Cabal Therapist, then I'd say. Like, I don't see what other cards he'd bring out if he...
and now Viktor is running out Mirran Crusader, and having seen 2 Tarfires gone, as well as the Pyrokinesis, there's some merit for it. But I think here's a Matron for the 3rd Tarfire, and the poor Crusader goes away, most likely.
Yes. Matron for Tarfire is a very powerful play in this matchup, I'd say. But now he's actually out of it. Like, he just has 3 Tarfire in his deck. He can't search anymore, even if he'd like to. So we'll see if there's some way for Viktor to punish
Viktor
that.
takes a Stoneforge Mystic number 2, which is very good considering you have Better Skull in your hand. And
exactly.
Yeah. Now his Jit is incoming.
We need a Tug Scrapper ASAP. May even 2.
He also got a land, and he has his Swords to Plowshares in the hand, so he can potentially remove something that Sandro will do as his turn. Yeah. Since right now, Sandro is paying less mana to remove Viktor's threat, as well as drawing additional cards with ringleaders.
Yeah. So I'd say that at this point, Viktor is a heavy favorite in this game. But
you mean Sandro, or?
No.
You think that Viktor is your favorite right now?
Yeah, I'd say so. Like, with getting that Better Skull, I don't know if there's another Matron or if there's a Scrapper.
Or running removal from the top. Hello, Deathmark.
That changes a lot of things. Now, I take back everything I said. I think that Sandro is a favorite.
With unknown cards, I think I agree with you.
Yeah.
But with...
I do not approve of that play.
Like, he's at 16 life, so if he's swordsing a 2/2, then he kind of fears something, but here's the kick, or the Prowled Earwig Squad, and now can you please show us the deck as well, please, Sandro? No, we can't really see what's going on there. I think Sandro will be removing... what do you remove here?
Yeah, I have no idea what... I assume he has a plan with the Earwig Squad since he kept it in, but...
I think you're most likely
I'm really curious.
Now looking forward, like, what's most likely in Viktor's hand, since he can have a good idea about the deck. I think he is going for either swords, all the Swords to Plowshares that's still left.
It seems like he did. Good call there.
Yeah, another thing he can do is to try to take, like, Mother of Runes or something. That's really annoying. But with a 5-3 in play and another ringleader in his hand, I think Sandro thinks that he's got the tools to deal with Mother of Runes, but one of the things that might, through a wrench in his plan, is a source on the 5-3s.
Exactly. Another thing that is quite huge here about the Eric squad is that Viktor actually holds the Cataclysm in his hand. But if Sandro gets left with a 5-3, like, the Cataclysm is not that effective. And with all the swords removed, like, how is he going to deal with that?
Well, he can play Flicker Wisp and block it.
That is true. That is true.
And there's the Flicker Wisp from Sandro, from Viktor's hand. I think I would have paid the life for the Horizon Canopy and tried to get after his lands with the Wasteland. Because if you keep in the Goblins deck from 4, you can't play Ringleaders.
Exactly.
And
not Crank either.
I think that the Ringleaders is most likely the way that Sandro loses this game is if he's not getting to keep any more cards coming from Ringleaders.
We see Flickerist doing a Ravenous Rats impression there, and actually giving it removes the Chromox, and how it works is that when Chromox then enters play, he gets to decide if he wants to remove a new card, and since Sandro needs the mana,
That's also a reason I think that I would have kept the Wasteland, because if my opponent decides that he needs to remove a card from the Mox, I'm more likely to think, oh, he needs the mana. No, now Sandro draw the 4th land anyway, so, well, it didn't matter. But I think that it would have been better to try to strangle Sandro's mana a bit.
I do agree with you. I don't really know what he is representing with having that.
Like, he's not taking a one single point of damage.
Did he?
Well, it could also be that he needs the 4th land to play the Cataclysm if he wants to have a creature in play.
Exactly.
But I think that with all your swords removed and your opponent having a 5-3, there's some lifting to do to get rid of a 5-3.
Definitely. Did we see a Gameplan Incinerator on the Flicker Wisp? Was that just top decked from Sandro?
No, he's kept it in his hand the whole game.
Okay, good.
That's a very good card. Well, kill your guy, draw a card. All for the nice cost of 2 mana.
Exactly what it wants in this game as well.
So a land from Viktor would make him available to play a Battery Skull.
Eitherwile is like... He just drew an Eitherwile, which is among the worst draws in his deck. He did sack the Horizon Canopy. Like, I feel like his plan is to find a 5th land.
And play Battery Skull.
Exactly, so I don't really agree with him sacrificing the Horizon Canopy there. But I'm sure he has a plan. And
He's got a pretty unexciting hand with, like... He played the Sword of Fire Ice. He's got Vial, Jit, and Battery Skull. Basically all the artifacts and no creatures.
Yeah, and there we go. That's a really quick 2-0 victory to Sandro with Goblins after Viktor having a quite unexciting draw, I'd say. Like, unexciting draws overall. He missed his 2nd land drop in game 1, and he just drew all his equipment in game 2. Which is quite unfortunate, while Sandro had all the removal spells that he could possibly ask for.
I think he's got like 2 or 3 more Incinerators, otherwise he got all the removal spell in his deck.
Yeah.
Basically.
That's
pretty good.
Deathmark, Incinerator.
As well as having 2 Ringleaders to refill his hand and then attack for the wins.
Yeah, it absolutely exactly what Goblins wants to do in the match, I would say. Really interesting match to see, and I'm actually quite happy because I know that I played Goblins quite a bit back in the days when I was
usually on the receiving end of either Goblins or trying to stave off those pesky lackeys.
Back when it was Tier 1, which was way back. But yeah, it makes me happy to see that the deck still
so it sits at 3-0 and it's 7 rounds, so a few more wins and we might see a resurgence of Goblins here.
It would be really sweet to see. I'm excited to follow Sandro through the tournament and see how he does. But yeah, with that, we are going to going to take a break, and
we might have a second feature match, but we're taking a short break at least, and then we'll figure out and post something for you.
Absolutely. We'll update you in a bit. But until then, see you in a minute or two.